in the country because we're so isolated, and they shut off all air traffic. So there weren't no one's coming in, no one's leaving. So we weren't really, we weren't that restricted here. Just because we're so rural. So we still practicing. We weren't playing shows, but we were, we're getting together, playing music and recording and doing all sorts of stuff. So we came out of that like raring to go and ready, and it took all these other bands a long time to kind of ramp back up. And so when bands started coming back on tour, there weren't that many bands that were like ready to play, or that it seemed like all the bands had gone like dark on social media. Even they weren't. It was really weird. So we were kind of like the only band that I could see that were really being active. And so, promoters were reaching out to us, and then we also realized you kind of just have to do it yourself too. So, like, I mean, he paid for everything, but we managed the whole tour for them. In Orange. And then there's another promoter now here on the Big Island that started he's bringing we're playing with the Cherry Poppin' Daddies a couple shows next week or next month, and the Voodoo Glow Skulls, and he's got some other. So he's been bringing a bunch of stuff, and he's a good friend of ours. So he's kind of gives us first dibs at any of the shows he's doing.
That's cool.
So that's really cool. So
nice.
Yeah, so getting a lot of opportunities, at least here. It's like it's a very, very small pond, situation. Yeah, but
I mean, but you're in like a prime location, because it's like you said, it's where a lot of people want to come vacation.
Yeah,
a lot of like celebrities, and I wouldn't be surprised if over the next few years you start seeing more of those situations where they want to do like shows out there, but like sandwich in between a vacation or so, like, or bookend a vacation on it or something.
Yeah. So, a lot of bands will want to, they'll do the end of the tour here, because then they'll just, come out, do 2-3 shows, and then spend a week at the beach.
Yeah.
And then also what's nice, like if a band's on tour, if let's say they're in San Francisco and someone wants to put on a show in Milwaukee, well, they're probably gonna have to drive to Milwaukee, and they're gonna book shows on the way, and it takes a lot to schedule that. But like if you want a band, if a band wants to come here, they just have to find a weekend. Like they can fly from anywhere. They don't bring any gear. And so, as long as, get them the right amount of money, they're often quite willing to just be like, yeah, we got a little break in our tour schedule, the third week in March. Let's do it then.
Yeah. That's how, so there's this, when I was out in Roswell, New Mexico, when I was living out there, that's how one of the more prominent venue owners in Roswell started getting some of his bigger names in. Like he'd go to bands that were booking, like were on tour, and they had like a little Southwest loop, and he'd find bands that had like an Albuquerque date, and then like something in South Texas, but with like a gap day in between.
Yeah.
And he'd just be like, hey, you guys want to play and saying Roswell, New Mexico, automatically it's like,
yeah, everyone's like, yes.
And so like just that automatic curiosity is an automatic yes. Even if he's coming in at a discounted price, or maybe a piece of the ticket sales, or whatever, like whatever it is. But still, the fact that he was able to get Saliva in there at one of their last shows before their their bass player passed away. And so, or Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, like all these bands from like the 2000s that aren't quite as big as they were back then, but they're still pretty big names,
Yeah.
So it's you just got to know how to sell your venue and your city.
Yeah.
But no, it's cool. All right, but I'm glad everything's going well for y'all, and I've really enjoyed a lot of the music y'all been putting out, and the t-shirt, like I said, is in constant rotation, and
right on.
It scared an old lady once. It was quite funny, but but then again, living out here in Central Texas, I probably need to be a little bit more careful where I wear a shirt like that. So
right.
But once again, I absolutely appreciate you coming in and chatting and hanging out with me here at the last official musician to be a part of the.
I'm honored and appreciate the dedication you're putting into this. I mean, you should go to bed or go take a vacation to Hawaii or something.
Yeah, I've often told myself that the Hawaii trip will come when I go to Australia, because it's like I'll fly out to Australia, and then on the way back, I'm gonna go spend like 3 days somewhere in Hawaii. So just to break up that flight.
Yeah, that's a way to do it. Yeah, or some people go to like Australia and then they'll go to the Cook Islands, which are out in the middle of nowhere, but that can break up the flight pretty well. And I went there once. It was pretty awesome. Totally recommend it.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I'll have to look into it, but that all costs money, and money I don't quite have at this point.
Right. Yeah. No, it's especially from here we can get to Australia. I mean, it's still expensive, but it's not as bad as coming from the mainland.
Yeah. But once again, I absolutely appreciate you, and we'll have to try and figure something out when I make it out to Hawaii, not if.
Absolutely.
I gotta stop saying the word if.
Yep. When? Nope. Just book it.
Yep. 100%. But I really appreciate it. We're gonna wrap up our pancreatic cancer 24-hour podcast fundraiser. We are currently at 24 hours and 7 minutes.
Holy cow.
We're into overtime, so awesome.
Right on. All right, Tom, appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you. Have a good night, and enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Yep. Thank you. Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for hanging in there. So just a recap for everyone that may still be watching. This campaign will be live for about another week, and it'll be live for a while as we're kind of rolling out the podcast and stuff like that. I'll keep this campaign up and see if we can get another donation or two and all that fun stuff. But until then, I am tired, like very tired, and I will see you all later. Have a good night and rest in peace.